Hello, everybody, and anybody who's actually watching this. Today, I want to talk about Jane Doe and some builds that I think will be good with her, and some parts of her kit that will really determine how you might want to build her. Like just very important things that are essential to her kit. Um, I just want to say that I'm not an expert in any of this. She's still not officially out, so so a lot of things can change. A lot of her multipliers, even her kit can change. This is just for what people have been seeing and saying on the internet from the trial you get to do when you play the 1.1 story, the new story. You actually get to try her out. You actually also get to try out Seth if you're interested in that. I unfortunately am very, very inefficient and have not even finished the chapter 2. So I have not gotten a chance, but through like a lot of different research on the internet, on social media, and all of that, there are a lot of resources that you can look through. There's a ton of YouTube videos that are like currently up and are still being uploaded, like mine's. That you know show you and like can actually show you Jane in action. I unfortunately can't, but I just want to talk about it. Okay, but yeah, I'm not an expert. A lot of these things can change, and I just in general I suck at the game. So I this is mostly for the people that are like me who don't have any idea of what's going on and just kind of wanna like struggle with other people. um but let's actually talk about first. Let's talk about things that I'm like 95%, because I don't want to say 100% sure because it's gonna be more embarrassing if I'm wrong. But let's talk about like things that I'm like 95% sure that you will need. You will need the agent promotional material, which of course for her is going to be anomaly because she is a physical anomaly character. Next is of course the WNG modifications. Again, um you need the anomaly type. Depending on what sort of engine you're using, either S rank, A rank, or B rank, you might need to farm for these longer or a little bit shorter. It just all depends on your own personal setup. And then for agent skill, of course, you're going to need physical chips. All those are, I'm pretty sure that you'll need all of those. They didn't announce any new materials or anything like that. So all those are 100% sure that you'll need. For expert challenge materials, that is still not known unless you're looking at leaks. But I don't want to talk about leaks. I actually haven't seen any leaks. No, I actually haven't seen any leaks. I don't really. Yeah, no. Anyways, so I'm not really sure which one of these you'll need. Usually they'll post like a little introduction to the character once they're like closer to releasing them. So probably like a week or like a couple of days before Jane Doe's officially released, they'll probably show what material she requires from this and the Notorious Challenge. So I would for Notorious Challenge, I just use all your weeklies and just kind of like hope that you're farming the right one. um, and besides that, for these, you can always just leave this for the end. You can always just farm out all of these like basic materials, angel promotion, W medication, and agent skill. All those you can farm out and be sure because she's an S rank, so all S ranks take the same amount of materials. So you should be able to find out very easily how much you will require. So this is just like an easy thing to get out of the way. Um, okay, okay. Next, I'm going to be talking about the disk drives. For right now, I would recommend the 4-piece Freedom Blues. If there ever is a future character that is a physical support that goes well with Jane, I would recommend switching the 4 Freedom Blues to them. And then probably using a 4-piece Fanged Metal on Jane instead. Since the 4-piece effect can be activated by a different character, so that means that you can still get the benefits of this set plus the benefits of the 4-piece Fang Metal. So, but right now, currently as things are, in my opinion, there are no characters that match well, that are physical and go well with Jane. Both Piper, Corin, and Billy are all, I would say, all require field time, which Jane also requires a lot of field time, so they just don't go well, even though they're all the same attribute. Um, and then since this is specific, the 4-piece specifically works on the anomaly buildup of the equippers type. If you put this on somebody like another support like Lucy, it wouldn't help Jane since she's physical and Lucy is fire. She's fire, so that wouldn't work. But for right now, I would recommend 4-piece Freedom Blues and 2-piece Fanged Metal. In the future, if there are any other characters that go well with Jane and are physical, then I would recommend 4-piece Fanged Metal and 2-piece Freedom Blues. For slot 1, 2, and 3, all those are flat stats. You cannot choose the main stat for these, but the substats, best would be attack percentage, flat attack, and anomaly proficiency. All of those are, well, flat attack can be skipped. But attack percentage and anomaly proficiency are your best, since anomaly damage is based off your attack, anomaly proficiency. Pen is also very good. Also very good for anomaly characters, since pen also does really affect how much damage. It also affects the damage of your, like for Jane, it would affect her assault damage and stuff like that. So I would recommend that. So yeah, for those you would want, like, this piece is pretty good. That attack percentage, that anomaly proficiency, are really good. Now for number 4, you would want. I currently have crit damage, and I will explain that a little bit later on. Well, I got this piece before I even knew what Jane's kit was. Because I thought it was really good. I was like, damn, crit damage, anomaly proficiency, pen, attack percentage. Like this is like a really good piece. But then I learned something about anomaly characters, that they don't anomaly attributes do not crit. So crit damage is very pointless on them. So somebody like Grace, Piper, they don't need it. So I was really sad. And then we saw like the preview of Jane's kit, and I actually think it might actually work out for me. So I was pretty happy about that. But I'll explain that a little bit later. Okay, for slot 5, you want a physical damage bonus. Physical damage bonus does also will increase Jane's assault damage, so that is your best bet. A physical damage bonus, 5th disc. And for Fanged Metal, Anomaly Mastery. Anomaly Mastery, I didn't know this. I thought it was the opposite. But Anomaly Mastery apparently makes building up anomaly easier, while anomaly proficiency raises the damage that your like assault will do. So anomaly mastery helps you build it up, and anomaly proficiency helps with the damage output. Didn't know that. Thought it was the opposite, but yeah. So 100% your best for this slot would be anomaly proficiency. I mean, anomaly mastery. Oh yeah, something I forgot to say. For 4th slot, yeah, the most safe bet would be anomaly proficiency. Since that would help her raise her damage, and like I said, I think this might work. I can't really say for 100% sure since I haven't tried her, and even when you try her, you can't change her. You can't change her set, so I can't tell you 100% sure. But like I said, explain later on. I'll explain a little bit more why I think this might work. But if this doesn't, your safe bet is anomaly proficiency for slot number 4. Okay. Okay, for her W engines. Of course, S ranks would be best. Her signature, Sharpened Stinger. I have no idea what the stats for that is. I don't know what the main stat are. I don't think they have said anything about that. So I wouldn't know. Um, but it's her signature, so it's most likely her best. Second best would be Grace's signature, which gives you pen main stat, also gives you attack with this also gives you attack with the sub stats and anomaly proficiency when you get off a anomaly attribute. So whenever you activate like Jane's assault and stuff like that, you will get more anomaly proficiency. And anomaly proficiency is very important for somebody like Jane. Um, a rank, A rank engines. For A rank engines, Electro Left Gloss is pretty good, but it's a battle pass weapon, and I'm not spending money on this game. So for me, that's out of the pocket. But yeah, it is out of my pockets. For me, that's out of my range. If you have it, then that's to me. It seems like a pretty good engine. Let's go. Actually, let's go see it. Yeah, anomaly proficiency. Like I said, very good for her. Inflicted with attribute anomaly on field, the corpus attack increases by 10 and they deal additional 15 more damage to the target. So all of this is just going to make her assault a lot more stronger. That attack, that 15 more damage, all of that is going to make her assault more stronger. So like I said, this is actually a pretty good weapon for her. But part of the city fund benefits, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm no, like I said, but if you have it or you got the pass and you're like, oh, I don't know which weapon to choose, and you want and you want Jane, um, you can think about this weapon. Okay, the next A rank engine that I could recommend is Rainforest Gourmet. It's not my personal favorite, but it does have anomaly proficiency as the main stat, and it gives you 2.5 attack for every 10 energy you use. I have no idea how much energy Jane's EX takes, so I couldn't tell you if it does reach the max stacks that you can get for the attack buff. And I also don't know how efficient that could be with Jane. Which is kind of why I'm iffy about it. First of all, I don't have it, so of course I'm gonna be iffy about it because I don't have it. Um, but also we don't know enough about Jane to, like, at least I don't know enough about Jane to for this to be like a option for me. Like I wouldn't really go do like my like TV signal and be like, come on, please give me a Rainforest Gourmet. Like I wouldn't do that. Um, Next one is Roaring Ride. I actually do like this a lot more. I like this one a lot more, but it does seem more for like Piper. Because it has attack main stat and it can give you 3 random effects, which can either give you attack, um, anomaly proficiency, or build up rate buff, which just helps you like get assaults faster. All three can be active, but I'm pretty sure you're so I could be misremembering this, but I'm pretty sure you have to hit them with your EX. So like I said, this does seem like a lot more like a Piper weapon, because Piper spins a lot with her EX, so she can easily get all three buffs and keep them up, because the buffs do only last for 5 seconds, but you can refresh them before they end. Um, so like I said, you can have all three buffs active at the same time and keep them active for longer than 5 seconds. Um, but like I said, Jane does not. I think Jane's EX is more of a a one really big hit more than a spin and multiple hit like Piper's. So again, I feel like this is more of a Piper weapon, but I don't think it would be bad on Jane. It just wouldn't be extremely, how would I say this? It wouldn't be efficient. There we go. But I could be, like I said, I could be wrong about this. I try my best to understand how the weapon works. I would have tested this one to see if it works like the way I'm thinking, but I don't have it, so I can't test it. My personal favorite, and of course I don't have a bias. Why would you say that? Is Weeping Gemini. This one gives you attack percentage, which again, really good. That just like it's just a like boost to your assault damage. Whenever a squad member inflicts an attribute anomaly a on a enemy, the cryptor gains a buff that increases the anomaly proficiency by 30, stacking up to 30. Stacking up to 4 times. This effect expires when the target recovers from stun or is defeated. The duration of each stack is calculated separately. I have two of them, so I could make that 30 anomaly proficiency higher, but I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I like this because again, it has that attack, that main stat attack. It also gives you quite a bit of anomaly proficiency if you can if you can do a lot of assaults very quickly, which Jane seems like a very good unit for that. Um so in total it will give you 120, yeah, 30, 60, 9, yeah, 120 in total for all four stacks if you can get them. That's a lot of that's quite a bit of anomaly proficiency. So that's my favorite out of the A ranks. That's my favorite. It's the one that I have. And yes, because I was confused about this, inflicts an attribute anomaly. That does mean actually doing the assault or shock and or burn and all that stuff. Like you have to activate that to get the buff. At first I thought it meant just increasing the anomaly like meter. I was wrong. I tested it because I was like, I don't want to sound dumb. So I tested it, and now you actually do have to proc the anomaly effect, which with Jane it would be assault. So every time you would proc assault, you would gain 30 anomaly proficiency up to 4 times. Okay. For B ranks, Magnetic Storm. Yeah, Magnetic Storm Alpha. Attack percentage, again, very good. Accumulating anomaly build up. See, this is what I thought Weeping Gemini worked like. For this one, I'm pretty sure you don't actually have to proc like the assault to burn or whatever. You just have to build it up. So as you build that up, you gain the 25, but you just gain one stack of it, and it has a 10-second cooldown. Again, I am assuming if I level this up, it would be more. So at the end, you would gain 40, which is a lot, but you do gain a lot more with with Weeping Gemini if you can get all 4 stacks, but still, this is a really good one if you this is just a really good one if you don't have any A ranks. This is good. Okay, Magnetic Storm Bravo, for the main stat it has anomaly proficiency, and for the second stat it's exactly the same as Alpha. Um, you gain 25%, 25 anomaly proficiency when you accumulate anomaly buildup. Um, this one I would say is more good if you're lacking anomaly proficiency, because Jane does have a certain threshold she wants to hit to get like the max out of her kit. So if you're lacking on anomaly buildup, I would recommend this one or any of the other A ranks that have anomaly buildup as a main stat. Then we have Magnetic Storm Charlie this time. Now this one is different. It has pen ratio for its main stat. Again, pen ratio. I've heard it's not world changing. Pen ratio is not something that you would necessarily, at least for the meta as of now. It's not something that you would want to like revolve an entire character around. Like, it's not the best. It doesn't hurt to have it. It does actually help your damage. It just does not help in a way where you're like, yes, I'm going to give her 4-piece pen ratio and all that stuff. Has pen ratio, and again, it does help with the anomaly proc, so your damage would be higher. Whenever a squad member inflicts anomaly tribute on an enemy, the equipper regenerates 3.5 energy. This effect can be triggered once every 12 seconds. This would be good if Jane does really depend on her EX, but for what I understand, she doesn't really. She depends on mostly dodges, counters, and just like regular, like just any attack. Of course, EX is always going to help the character, but she does not depend on it. Luckily, like Piper, I would say depends a lot more on her EX, since a lot of her anomaly buildup does come from her spinning. And that's pretty sure that's it for the B ranks. Yes, they yes it is. Okay, so those are W engines. I gave you all your options, but I said which ones I would prefer and which ones I will be using. But yeah, okay, next up. Okay, next I wanted to talk about Jane's kit. Specifically some areas that I personally think will really affect the, well, maybe not really affect, but might affect the way you want to build her. Her, for me, for my understanding, her kit revolves around passion. Passion is a bar system. You when you fill up that bar by either attacking, perfect dodging, or defensive assist, she enters the passive state, passion state, not passive, passion state. And whenever she is in this passion state, she can convert excessive anomaly proficiency into attack. Every point after 120 anomaly proficiency gets turned into 2 attack up to 600 attack. So she'll need a 420 anomaly proficiency to get the max attack boost, and that's why I say it might change the way you want to build her, since you might want to go with the W engine with a main stat of anomaly proficiency if you have like a low anomaly proficiency and stuff like that. And again, so that might change the way you want to build her. The second important thing is her core passive. Her core passive makes enemies go into the nod state, which basically makes assault and flinch stronger, but also makes assault crit possible. So basically, she can make assault crit, and the crit possibility has a base chance of 31 crit rate, but for every point of anomaly proficiency, it gets increased by 0.13%. So with that 420 anomaly proficiency that you should be going for, you should have around 51 extra crit rate, I think. So that's pretty good. And then it also has a base stat of 50% crit damage. Now, this is why I'm personally going to try out a crit damage disc, because this is a base stat, not fixed. So unlike somebody like Robin from Honkai Star Rail, which her concierto mode has a fixed crit damage and crit rate, this only says that it has a base stat of. So I might just be illiterate. That is a very big possibility. But for what I understand, it means that crit damage and crit rate stats for Jane could actually affect her assault damage. Which, if it does, that'll actually be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. So I actually do hope that works. That I really hope that does work. If not, it's just been proving I'm fucking illiterate. But yeah, that's why I'm personally going to try out a crit damage disc. Besides that, it's also just the best disc I have, so I don't really have a choice. But yeah, so that's why I'm personally doing that, because it might actually work. But yeah, I think those two things, those two parts of her kits are very important and will really decide how you want to build her, if it actually works the way that I understand it to work. So yeah. Okay. So for teams, I will personally be going for Ambi, Jane, and Seth. Plus Electro Boo or Plug Boo. I say either or because I don't own Plug Boo. I've been going for every I've been going for every other stupid Bank Boo except for Plug Boo. um, but I will be trying to get them before Jane actually comes out. But but this team is honestly just the best I can do. It's not something I would recommend. Seth, I actually do think he pairs very nicely with Jane because of his passive and just the way he works. But Anby, on the other hand, I would not recommend. I simply put her on the team because I want Seth's um same attribute buff. That buff basically gives 100 more anomaly proficiency to the character he gives a shield to, which is very helpful for Jane. Um, but can also only happen if either they're the same attribute or from the same faction, and I don't have anybody else from the same faction as Seth or Jane or same attribute as Jane either. So Envy's just the best bet I have for right now. But I wouldn't recommend a stunner because Jane seems the type of character to really benefit from having enemies not dazed. She gains passion through dodging and a defensive assist, which can only happen if the enemies are not stunned. Um, and while she can get passion through attacking, it would be more efficient to for her to get passion through all her means, through all her different means. Um, so yeah, that's why I wouldn't really recommend Abby. For me, my perfect team would be Rena, Jane, and Seth, because Rena can also activate Seth's I don't know, attribute like buff. But besides that, Rena can also just really help get electric anomaly up. Um, Especially compared to Ambi, she can really get that up, which will make it a lot easier to proc Disorder, because Disorder just seems like the stronger anomaly effect. Plus, it can also daze enemies, which is another reason I wouldn't really recommend a stunner. Um, but yeah, so I would prefer Rena. Rena's just a really good support in general, and I think in this sort of team, it would really help Jane be able to proc Disorders. But besides Jane, I've heard Grace might be also really good. Like I said, since well, not like I said, but like since Grace is also another anomaly attribute unit. I'm really losing it. I'm so sorry. But since Grace is also another anomaly unit, she can help Jane activate those disorders. Okay. It's almost over. It's almost over. But yeah, so that's why I'm basically running like a budget team with Electro Boo and Plug Boo or Plug Boo. Because I think Jane is really can really easily proc assaults, but her teammates will struggle a little bit more to keep up with her unless they are also anomaly. I've heard mixed things about Grace. I think it might be good. I also heard good things about Bernice, the new characters that were marketed. Because she's also another anomaly character, so people are saying that she might be a really good pair for Jane for Jane. It's personally I think if you do want to go Bernice, it would be Bernice, Jane, and Lucy, since Bernice can get both her an attribute buff and same faction buff. And then besides that, Lucy is just a really good buffer since she gives attack and that helps anomaly damage. So I think that would be like the most like probably premium team, both Bernice and Jane. Personally I won't be going for that team. If I somehow get Rena in between here and then I'll be using Rena, Jane and Seth. Um but yeah, I mean actually Seth might not be bad in that team with Bernice and Jane either. Um but yeah, but again, for Bernice, it's just speculation since we don't really know her kit. It's just speculation because we know she's a anomaly and she's a different type of anomaly from Jane. Ugh, my throat has gotten really dry. I haven't talked. I never talked for this long. But yeah. That's just my own personal thoughts. That would be my team if I had, you know, had those characters. Okay. Quickly, very quickly, just a little quick thing for Seth. Seth, I really want him to be a shooter, mostly a shooter, and hope. If I don't get Rena, I will try to make him as best of a like electric anomaly support as I can. Currently, we know that his shield is attack based. So I would recommend a 4-piece hormone punk, since it gives you attack and then just gives you even more attack for the 4-piece. I'm so sorry. And then for the 2-piece, I would do swing jazz for that energy regen. Um, and for both 4 and 5, I would recommend attack. Ignore that defense. That fucking defense does not exist. Okay, imagine that to be attack. That should be attack. Look at it as attack. Okay, ignore it. But those two attack, like, again, just so he has like a really strong shield, because that is his main deal, is shielding. And I suck at dodging, so I really need a good shield. Now this is where for me my build gets a little bit weird. um I would actually give him Anomaly Mastery. Like I said, Anomaly Mastery apparently is supposed to make building up Anomaly faster. So that's what I want him to do. As a support for Jane, I want him to build up that electric anomaly faster. So usually you would either put another attack percentage here or an energy regen piece here. But for me, for my uses of Seth and the way I'm going to try out this team, is by giving him an anomaly mastery to hopefully keep up with Jane and those disorder procs that I want to do. So that's how I would set this up. Again, for substacks, attack, literally attack, all of it, attack. um For W Engine, as you can see, Ben is my current like placement for Seth. Um, None of these I would really like recommend. Like this one gives you defense reduced, but it also is very defense dependent. Gives you defense, more defense, gives you more defense. I mean, this one would be nicer, I guess, since it reduces damage. But currently, there are no good W engines for Seth besides the this right here, view. This one, Spring Embrace, because not only does it give attack percentage, which again is what Seth is based off, it also reduces the damage taken and helps with energy regeneration. Um, so it's literally perfect for Seth, but again, this is a paid one. I won't go for it. If you're for some reason a Seth main already, even though he hasn't come out, and you're like, no, I'm going all out, I still wouldn't recommend that. There's a new there's a new W engine that's coming out specifically for Seth. I'm pretty sure. We don't know the substats, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be his best. I could be wrong. I could be imagining things. I could be going insane, but I'm like 90% sure that there's a new W engine that's gonna come out and that's specifically made for Seth. So I wouldn't even recommend that one. If you don't get the W engine and you're like, that's my best next option, that is the one that I would recommend. All the other ones are hot garbage, bro. Um, but yeah, that is personally the way I would build. I'm going to build Seth to see how he can support Jane. And we have made it to the end. This video is probably going to be around 30 to 20 minutes. I'm hoping closer to 20. I sort of got if it's 30 minutes. But I've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes because I cannot get my lines right. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and goodbye.